the streets of Birmingham.
The residents of Birmingham are taught about the 3 R's from an early age. Respect, revenue and revenge are the 3 causes of a gang war that has been waged in the city for decades. The Burger Bar boys from Handsworth and the Johnson crew from Aston control the drugs trade in their neighbourhoods. The first fatality of the gang war was Corrie Allen, who was shot dead. The police alleged Burger boy Mika Youngsman had carried out the killing, but witnesses were too scared to testify. Youngson was later accused of attempting to murder fellow gang members Sharif Cousins. Bizarrely, mid-trial, Cousins claimed to have suffered a bout of amnesia and Youngson walked free once more.
A situation happened in our city centre where obviously a man pulled a gun on me. Obviously, I've disarmed the weapon off the man. A shot's gone off in the process. And that was it. I've gone in there, I've set the record straight. It says, I don't know nothing about no attempted murder. As far as I'm aware, no attempted murders never took place. There's never been no attempt on my life.
Did you get in prison for not giving evidence?
Yeah, I got in prison, yeah. Because, but the truth of the situation, it's not even like I lied about it, because obviously, man, I'm from the street, so man ain't gonna, do that anyway. Because obviously, if you got a problem with a man, we ain't gonna go to the police and tell the police. Obviously, you're gonna just deal with it how we deal with it out here. You understand it? So it was never a thing like that anyway. But they still tried to force me into court to give evidence for some trial what I don't know nothing about. Do you understand what I'm saying? So obviously, I've just told them what happened. I got locked up prior to that for attempt to supply in Wales. I got locked up by bare armed police. One of them hit me in my head with a rifle. I've got knocked out. I've woke up. I don't even know my name. That was the truth of the situation. So I couldn't remember nothing about no attempted murder anyway. So just to clear that up, there was never no attempt on my life.
What do you think about the whole gang thing there?
The gang thing now, obviously, I'm grown in that now, innit? So I've seen the effects, I've seen the after effects, I've seen what it causes on all angles. So what I think about it now is basically, I can't say it's a joke because it's people's lives and people are really dedicated to this stuff, but as an elder looking in, I can say really it's not the way forward. To be fair, the gang scene, you get me? It's a culture thing, innit? So it's more of a fashion thing now than basically. It's hard to explain, but now it's all a joke really. Everyone is just the gangbangers.
Shoot stop, it's them JC Johnny boys, GSA, TSA, Mob Squad Raiders, slash niggas in the place, Brumtown bad boys, slapping in the broad day, man it's straight dog shit, don't get in our way, JC Johnny boys, GSA, TSA, Mob Squad Raiders, slash niggas in the place, Brumtown bad boys, slapping in the broad day, man it's straight dog.
It's different to my day when I come up then in the gang thing, car. In my day, you couldn't just come out one day and say you're a gangster then, you get me? You have to do something. Now to be a gangster nowadays, you got to jump on Twitter, make a bad boy tweet about, yeah, I'll shoot your mum in the face, I'll do this. And then what, you're getting a label, jumping on Facebook. That's how the gangster thing is now, and I'm not from that school. You understand it? So I don't play it, and the thing is, because on the back of all this stuff does happen, you get me, stuff will happen to you for stuff, what you write on Twitter, what you write on Facebook. The next black boy is not your enemy. That's what I say to them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's enemies out there like that. That guy over there, because he's from that postcode, he's not your enemy.
Ironically, one of Sharif's bitterest rivals, Johnson crew member Zimbo Moore, shares the same views these days, but is under no illusion about the impact of a few kind words. He knows that the war is still being fought, and unemployed youths, impressed by the prestige bestowed upon gang members, are queuing to join their ranks.
I had a good childhood. It was a single-parent house, mum, 4 sons. I'm trying to say, but we lived happily. We ate together as a family for a while. As we got older, as we started to get to the teens and that's when we started to do our own little thing then. Started to break away, hang with the lads. Probably like age of 11, 12, 13. That's when we started to get into mischief. Started to get into criminal activities. I was taught that, innit, by friends that are a bit older than me, through the images that I'm seeing of myself or people like me on TV, in music, everywhere. You know what I'm trying to say? So obviously I took on that image for myself and got into that that way of life. I used to always get older people stopping me in the street and saying, "What are you doing?" Because a lot of young people follow you. So why are you leading them the wrong way? And I was just thinking, I ain't no role model. I'm just doing me. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm just living how I'm living. But in reality, you're a role model. Whether it's just to your little brothers and sisters or your little cousins or the whole half of the community. You know what I'm trying to say? So I was pretty known through shit that was going on in the streets and through music. I used to rap about it. I used to make songs about it. Do shit and make songs about it.
I hear the streets talking, but I just keep walking. She just begs, can't ignore the bitch calling. All my life I've been stalking destruction. Till my eyes open up to the corruption. Now I ain't fucking with these busters. Is this a war of the minds? I'm a right to free my brothers. So let's go back to the beginning of time, where the Jews had the same skin color as mine, and the road was.
You get known for it. You get respect, you get ratings, and people will follow you. It's a lot of power, but you don't know that. You don't know the power that you're holding. You know what I'm trying to say? Because what you're saying, in terms of the music that I was putting out, people are following. It's like you're teaching people how to live.
Teaching people how to die may be nearer the truth. The origins of these gangs go back to the 1980s, when racial tension resulted in rioting. Right-wing groups began targeting immigrants, and this led to young black men banding together for self-protection. Meeting up in a fast food restaurant in the Lozells district, the Johnson crew, as they came to be known, carried out vigilante patrols to protect their community. As they grew in strength, the threat from the far right began to recede. Some of the Johnson crew decided to move into crime as a way of making a living. Disagreements over the proceeds of their crimes led to some members leaving to set up a rival group. Basing themselves in a cafe, and hence the name, the Burger Bar Boys were bitter rivals to the Johnson crew from day one. As crack cocaine swept through the city and money poured into the gang's coffers, the rivalry escalated. So too did the attitudes towards acts of extreme violence.
This is how it spread like a virus, this whole mentality and this whole way of living and this whole way of thinking. You know what I'm trying to say? Because at first, it started with a small group, just Afro-Caribbean lads. Now, it's everywhere. Even with in the 80s with the white lads that were gangsters, it was a totally different kind of gangster. There was probably more loyalty then. There was more. It was like a cult of arms and all that shit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it was different. Where it's not even organised. People think it's organised. Like the people, like police would say it's organised crime. Bollocks. You know what I'm trying to say? It ain't organised. Everyone's just. It could be organised to an extent, but it's not organised. Everyone's just living like wild animals. This is how we live. If you want people to respect you, you got to do this. You got to do that. You know what I'm trying to say? You got to do bad shit, and then people will respect you. So as a kid, if I'm 6 years old, I got a little brother that's 13, and all he knows, my little brother, all he knows is that to get people to respect you and to get people to like you and to feel wanted, you got to do bad shit. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's what he's doing. This is the 6-year-old. This is what I'm learning now. This is what I'm learning. You have to be. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Oh, to go jail. When people go jail, so every time someone goes jail, they come out and they got stories to tell. This is when we were 13, 14, 15, 16. People go jail, come out. There's stories to tell. The story's always funny. So jail seems fun. You know what I'm trying to say? It's nothing. It's nothing to go jail. These are the things that we're learning. So we're learning these things and we're growing up. And we're taking on that whole, we're being programmed that way. Any community you go into, it's class now. It's not race or culture no more, it's class. There's a class of young people that think that this is the way to live. I believe it's changing now, but for a long time, this is how we grew up.
When you talk about reality, what sort of reality checks did you get and how did they affect you? You know, like if you're in your 20s and your mate gets murdered.
See, reality checks, they come in abundance. Friends dying, just whatever, people getting hurt, doors getting, some shit's always happening. There's been times where there's been shootouts and people have been standing up in the same place where the shootout was 10 minutes after the shootout. A lot of the time, it's not really a reality check because it's normal.
On the 6th of December 2002, 24-year-old Johan Martin was shot dead as he sat in his car near the West Bromwich Albion football ground. Johan was a key member of the Burger Bar Boys. His brother Nathan believed that the Johnson crew was behind the killing and so began plotting his revenge. He soon recruited fellow gang members Michael Gregory, Marcus Ellis and Rodrigo Sims. All the gang needed now was an opportunity.
There was a party being held at one of these properties above a hairdresser's. During the evening, revellers from the party came along this balcony and down these stairs and congregated here. They just come out for some fresh air and just to have a chat, get away from the noise. Unbeknown to them, down there on the left-hand side, there was a guy called Rodrigo Sonny Sims. He had noticed that members of the Johnson crew were attending the party and he'd rang Nathan Martin to tell them. Martin and 3 other members of his gang armed themselves with a Mac-10 submachine gun, a handgun and various other weapons, and came up this road in a stolen red Mondeo. And as they passed a group of girls, they opened fire. The recoil from the gun meant they lost their aim, and basically they sprayed this entire area with bullets. 4 of the revellers were hit. 2 of them, Letitia Shakespeare and Charlene Ellis, fell to the floor fatally wounded. The people from the party came down the stairs to give them what assistance they could, but unfortunately, shortly afterwards, both of them died.
Marcus Ellis, Michael Gregory and Nathan Martin were all convicted of murder and sentenced to a minimum of 35 years imprisonment. Rodrigo Sims was ordered to serve at least 27 years. The lengthy prison sentences did little to deter other young men. In fact, the huge publicity the case generated attracted more recruits for both gangs. This resulted in a heavy police presence in the areas where the Johnsons and Burgers operated. Determined to maintain their criminal lifestyle, both gangs attempted to take over the drugs trade in neighbouring towns and cities such as Coventry, Walsall and Wolverhampton. The latter is an extremely violent city that has plenty of previous when it comes to gangs. Rob Holloway and his door security firm became a target of much of that violence.
In 2003, when I started taking on a lot of clubs, which coincided with the shootings of Shakespeare and Ellis in Birmingham, and also that drove the Burger Boys and that this way, because they had a lot of heat on them over in Birmingham, but also they was competing for the crack market, because Wolverhampton at the time was saturated with crack addicts. And that's when we started having problems with local gangs and with the Burger Boys and different people. A lot of violence. And we used to get them down Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Warfare, North Street in Wolverhampton, warfare every night. We had loads of incidents. One time the Burger Boys come down and there's another local gang and they attacked the doorman. And then I had to come down and different things. And a guy who's dead now come after me with an axe, which I took off. He ended up with the axe in his head. The local gangs from Heath Town and Park Village and whatever, they don't like the Birmingham boys infringing on their territory, so to speak. So we'd have flare-ups with them. We've had shootings in the street. There's one incident where I dragged a guy out of a car and I was fighting and whatever, and the gun went off. Somebody tried to shoot me and it hit the fucking car and the window went and there's about 60 people in the street. It was running everywhere. And as I say, this was every night. But the Burger Boys were all right with us. They used to come down and we had an arrangement. I had an arrangement with all the gangs, to be fair, and they never brought guns into my place. It sounds mad, but it's true. And we used to have bin bags with different gangs come in, and my doorman would put their gun in a fucking different bag, and they'd enjoy the night, and then when they left, they'd all have the guns back and start shooting each other and kicking off. It was mad, it was crazy.
In another club called First Base, 2 of Holloway's firm were involved in a terrifying brawl with a gang led by Marlon Jones, which resulted in a cloakroom attendant being kneecapped, a pit bull terrier being shot dead, and several others suffering gunshot and stab wounds.
Well, the night was intense from the beginning anyway. You know, people was just like pushing in, trying to get in. You know, I mean, it was a big night, a big night. And all of a sudden it just went pear-shaped. Bang. Doors kicked off, gangs running in, everybody running up and down the stairs trying to get out. We had 2 dogs on the main entrance. Apparently one of the dogs did get shot. You know, it was just a mad night.
It was a moody night initially at the beginning. It was proper moody. I think something was said upstairs where one of the gang members got nearly sort of done something to one of our doormen, didn't they, or something?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, chucked him over the balcony or something like that. So there was a bit of retribution there. What was going to happen? You know, I mean, at the end of the night, and then end of the night, just went mad. Choppers, machetes, guns, everything. It was just mad. I got bottled with a champagne bottle. Got 50 stitches and 7 nerves. At the time I was a bit of a boxer, so it kind of fucked my career sort of thing, but just one of them ones really.
Just the trauma of it, you know, it was just intense. It was just intense. I mean, I was downstairs at the main entrance where the shots was fired. People was just like, it was just mayhem. After we all got upstairs, saw my friend there, sitting there with his face open. I was standing initially right by the cloakroom. I heard a bullet just zoom past my ears and it lodged into the door. One of my friends got shot in his leg.
So I started noticing little gangs, little kids who used to steam shops or sell a bit of weed or fucking rob drug dealers or different things. Through selling crack and making a lot of money, tens of thousands of pounds a week, they could buy hardware and guns and different things and that's when all respect for the old morals and the old school went out the fucking window, to be honest. And even now you've got 16-year-old kids who live with their mum and they've got 20 grand under the bed and a shooter, you know what I mean? So it didn't matter who you was then, Irish, black, Asian, the mafia. They don't give a fuck, to be honest. So drugs really wrecked, you know, all the morals to do with the underworld and different things.